There is no denying that the Pokemon card market is in a bit of a downturn right now. We are seeing newer sets at all-time lows. We're seeing older sets at 3-month, maybe even 6-month lows. And it's only going to continue to get worse or better depending on your perspective of the current market. I'm kind of taking the approach that things are only going to get better. While you may be seeing your overall collection value drop right now, I think that is what is best for the long term. I think before things were just so crazy, there were so many new people coming in, there was so much hype. New booster boxes shouldn't be 2 to 2.5 to even 3 times, MSRP at release or within the first few months. It's just not sustainable for the hobby. It's not good. It's really not good for anybody. The only people that were really taking advantage were the scalpers. And now that prices are starting to come down, we're seeing so much lower. They're still very expensive, but they're so much lower than what they were. Things are trending in the right direction. Also, too, you should be able to go into, your Walmart, Target, Best Buy, wherever it may be, and pick up Pokemon cards. Now, that still is pretty tough to do, at least in my area. Things are getting better, right? You are still able to hit from time to time. It's still a little bit more difficult, but stuff is becoming more available. On the Pokemon Center side, those drops recently from Ascended Heroes, they were up. They were available for hours at a time. Some people still missed out. I know it wasn't perfect, but it's getting better. They're cutting down on the bots. They're cutting down on the scalpers. And I think that this is all for the best. I think moving forward, if you're a serious collector, that things are looking really good. Even if you're an investor, if you consider yourself only an investor of Pokemon cards, it's going to be much better when these prices are a lot more affordable at release and more plentiful. So I think we are heading in the right direction. While it may seem scary to see your collection drop, I'm actually very excited kind of for where things are going. So just as a quick update, I did want to touch on a few little updates here. Starting with Phantasmal Flames, obviously the newer sets are getting hit very hard. Phantasmal Flames is no exception to that. We're seeing booster boxes right now at all-time lows in the $250 range for Phantasmal Flames booster boxes. Still well above MSRP, but you can see on the 3-month chart down 25%. And, they were selling for well over 300 back here. And now we're essentially down around $100 on those booster boxes. So looking a lot better, a lot more affordable there. Now, some things are holding up a little bit better, right? The Mega Charizard, while it has dropped, it was selling for close to 1,000 back here. It's holding pretty strong, at least for the time being, around $600. Now, this is going to be more of the exception to the rule. This is kind of the card that everybody wants, right? Including myself. I've been trying to chase this card. I've been trying to rip this card. And, for good reason. Phantasmal Flames is kind of, it's like this card or bust. And, that kind of makes sense. So there will be exceptions to the rule. And even with stuff like dropping right now, you'll see some sealed stuff that's still moving up. It really depends. Older stuff like Sword and Shield era and beyond, probably going to hold up even better, right? But right now, the Charizard is holding up pretty good. The Gold Charizard, obviously, at another all-time low. The drop on it has slowed, right? You can see, 470, 450, 440. So currently around $440 for the Gold Mega Charizard for Phantasmal Flames. Chase cards definitely have been proven that we are getting back to that old style of where things were. If you want a chase card from a set, you should probably wait at least a few months, right? We're kind of back to that. Before, things were moving so rapidly where it was like, actually, if you didn't buy at release, you were actually looking bad because cards were shooting up pretty massive pretty quick. I think that trend has probably come and gone, at least for the time being. So we're back to more of a normal thing when it comes to, if you wanted a chase card, wait for it to continue to drop over months. So the Gold Charizard, at an all-time low right there. Phantasmal Flames Elite Trainer boxes are actually holding up fairly decent. They're in the $80 range. They've been there for a while now. You can see they did dip right here as low as 80. I'm sure it looks like some sold in the $70 range as well. They've gotten a small bounce since then, but pretty much at that same low. So Phantasmal Flames ETBs in that $80 range. Now, Mega Evolution Base is one that obviously at another all-time low right here. These boxes were selling for over $300 back in September. They've seen a very slight increase. They were in the 220s just for a second, but pretty close to that all-time low at $230. Pretty cheap booster box right now. There's only a few booster boxes that right now that are cheaper than Mega Evolution. So at least for the enhanced booster box right now with the promo card, which honestly is a very good box topper promo. So I actually do like that. Well, it'll be interesting to see following this, like, where do we see the bottom end up being on some of these boxes. It's really tough to tell and tough to speculate, just based off of like how crazy the market was and then how things are still crazy, but they're calming down. It's like we just don't know to what level things are going to calm down. So it can be very difficult to speculate. I wouldn't be surprised if we start to at some point see booster boxes in the under the $200 range. I could definitely see that as a possibility. Maybe even, you know, $180. So still above MSRP. I don't know. It's just kind of one of those things where nobody really knows for certain, but I could see that as a possibility moving forward, just based on the trend that we're currently seeing. So Mega Evolution, I know we've touched on it recently in the newer sets, but it is worth updating as they still are declining. Same thing with the Mega Lucario. This is the SIR number 179. A really nice looking card, by the way, but at another all-time low, dropping under $200 for the first time, really. I mean, and it happened, it's been late November and pretty much all of December so far that it's been sub 200. So a nice looking card, but dropping and getting hit pretty hard is the Mega Lucario. Lowest listed right now, 195 and up. If you do want to pick up this card, a nice looking card from Mega Evolution. Before we go any further, I did just want to real quickly remind you and give a thank you to all of the channel members who have joined recently. We're doing a members only giveaway. So if you guys want to enter to have the chance to win an Elite Trainer box, become a member for the month of December, and we will be announcing that later in the month, probably closer towards Christmas time. So if you want to have a chance to win a free Elite Trainer box, make sure you enter the giveaway by becoming a channel member. It's my way of saying thank you and giving back to the members who have supported the channel. Next up is, now this one's seen a little bit of a bounce as well. And a lot of cards more recently after that kind of that Black Friday sale where TCG Player was giving that 10% credit back. We did see a big bump up right here, November 28th. So we saw it, I mean, a big bump. On this card, not a big bump. Some other sets were seeing bigger bumps, right? This card went from 205 to 210. So it's pretty much, once again, right there at that all-time low. Technically, it's a little bit up, a few dollars up, right? So the Mega Gardevoir is one that you'll note it hasn't dipped below $200 yet, holding up a little bit better than the Mega Lucario. But if you zoom out, obviously, you know, down 61%. It was selling as high as over $500 at one point. So that's why moving forward, when chase cards come out, you don't want to be buying them right away. You want to wait and let them continue to drop in value moving forward. That is your best strategy. So that's what the newer sets are looking like. And just to go back to the booster box just for a second, just remember this price of $230. These, I believe, are the only Scarlet and Violet era boxes that are cheaper than that right now. Scarlet and Violet base has taken a big drop. It was looking actually pretty decent into September, around 240. Looks like it was going to hit 250. It's dropped all the way down to 218 currently for Scarlet and Violet base. So lowest listed right now are upper teens, lower $220 range for Scarlet and Violet base. So that is one of the cheapest booster boxes currently on the market. So still holding over that $200 mark. Same thing with Journey Together. It's pretty much right at that same price, right? Market price of $220, and it dropped from a high of around $260. So pretty decent drop on Journey Together. So those currently from the Scarlet and Violet era are the cheapest booster boxes that you can purchase right now. Prismatic Evolutions also getting hit right now, dropping in price. I know that there's a lot of people who probably weren't able to get their hands on Prismatic Evolutions at MSRP or at a good price. Right now, we're seeing the boxes at a 3-month low, dropping around 13% in the past month alone, from around 130 down to around 112. So these boxes, this is the regular Elite Trainer box, and at 112, we haven't seen this price since September. So a 3-month low for the Elite Trainer box. Now, if you zoom out, we haven't seen this box go under 100 except for just a few times. Back here in June, it hit around $98, and then also in August, it hit around $98. So we'll have to see if this continues to drop and hit those, go down to those all-time lows. So we're not quite there yet, but a pretty significant, like a over $20 drop on the Elite Trainer boxes right now for Prismatic. Keep in mind that these newer sets, Prismatic isn't even a full year old yet, so they will be subject to reprints for the foreseeable future. So things with these sets could end up getting better, giving it more time. The Umbreon from Prismatic Evolutions also looking like it's been dropping around 14, almost 15%, around a $200 drop just in the past month alone. So chase cards starting to come down as well. Nothing too crazy. I mean, 15% is a decent chunk, but it looks worse because this was, over $1,000 card. So a $200 drop is pretty massive. And you can see kind of this card was cheaper than that at one point. Back in August and September, it was $840 in the 800s. At release, it was as high as 16, came all the way down, got cut in half to 800, and then obviously saw a bounce to around 1200. We were seeing some sales in this period as high as 1300 as well. And then obviously dropping off to around 1,000. So we'll have to see if it holds around that price. I know people still chasing this card pretty heavily. Then even just to kind of prove we've touched on this recently, but just to add a little bit of context is even the best sets, like what's the best set, best modern set that people would say that's holding up the best. Most people would say Evolving Skies. It's the best modern set. So, up for debate, but I think most people would probably agree that it's Evolving Skies. And Evolving Skies has not been able to get around these drops that we're currently seeing. 10% drop on the Umbreon VMAX right here, 2,200 down to around 2,000. So kind of similar to what we saw from the Umbreon in Prismatic, right? A $200 drop. A lot of this stuff too, especially with older sets, still looking pretty good overall. The 1 year chart's up 43%. This card was as low as 1,300 into that summertime drop that we got. So the card's still really good, really expensive, 2,200, at the high, down to around 2,000. So the card's holding up pretty well. Lowest listeds right now are lower, though. We're seeing 17 and 1800s on TCG Player for the Umbreon VMAX. So Evolving Skies, it's declining as well. I mean, look at the booster box in the past month, down around 8%, which is from 2,500 down to 2,300. I think the lowest listeds, if we can get to a normal box, 2,200. So a little bit below the current market price. So even the best sets are not, exempt to these drops. They will have drops. They just won't be as bad or as severe. Obviously, Evolving Skies still, as far as booster boxes go, looking really, really good. 144%, sub 1,000 a year ago, 950. Went up to 1,400, dropped to around 13. And then obviously it's been on pretty much a pretty solid tear even into the summer, as a lot of singles and stuff were dropping. This booster box was continuing to age really well. So Evolving Skies, not immune to the market drops right now, seeing a pretty decent little drop, still a very expensive box. So that brings me into the next set, which we've talked a lot about recently. There's been cards coming out. We still have a lot that we haven't seen from the English side. Right, we just saw, if you didn't watch yesterday's video, a few more cards being revealed, because the English set will actually be bigger than the Japanese set. But that is Ascended Heroes. And I'm be very interested to see if that set can bring back, maybe we'll see a little bump in the market come January when the set starts to get closer to release. I think it'll bring a lot of people back. I think a lot of people will be excited for this set because, I mean, first off, it's a really big set. You have, not only do you have a Gengar chase, you have a Dragonite chase, you have multiple Pikachus, and a Mewtwo chase. So with some of the other cards, even the lesser cards, they look really cool. So I think it's a pretty deep set overall. And obviously too, really great illustration rare with this Psyduck, by the way. So Ascended Heroes, I think we could see a little bit of a bump when that set comes out. So we'll have to kind of just keep an eye on where things are at. But I think things are going to continue to get worse, or like I said at the beginning of the video, better, depending on your perspective. I think prices will get, your overall collection will get worse. It'll continue to drop, but things overall are getting better in my opinion. So, but an interesting pivot point with Ascended Heroes. So we'll have to see kind of how that pans out. You can see some of the prices on screen for what we're seeing for Japanese, just to put it in perspective. It could be really difficult to pull some of these cards because it's going to be a pretty big set. So we'll have to see. These could be some really expensive cards on the English side. So, yeah, that's kind of what we're gearing up towards in the future. To end this video off, we're going to continue the trend. I'm burning through some packs here, but we're going to open up a few more packs here, chasing the Charizard from Phantasmal Flames. So we'll have to keep that going here. I don't know how, I'm starting to run out of packs to open at the end of videos here, so I'll have to probably secure some more, but just a Toxtricity, underrated IR. That is a nice looking IR. So yeah, we'll have to continue to just open these every so often. I think we'll have to take a little bit of a break here shortly, but I was getting a little excited. I had a few ETBs that I was able to get at MSRP, so I wanted to be able to open those. And what better time to open it than on the channel? So super excited. This set has been, I mentioned it before, but I'll just repeat myself in case you didn't see it last time. This set has been weighing on me. It has been it's been such Charizard or bust that it just, at this point, it's just torturing me. I could have and should have, let me move my screen over here real quick so I can see the cards a little bit better. I should have just bought the Charizard from this set already. But this is my first time being stubborn in a long time, so I wanted to pull it myself. But it's just such a small set. I have so many duplicates and stuff now. I obviously shouldn't be complaining. I'm excited just to be able to open packs, but it's just one of those sets. It is so Charizard or bust. It's like I love and hate it. I just want to be done with this chase right now. Thank goodness I didn't do this with Prismatic and the Umbreon. Could you imagine? I'd still be working on it, I'm sure. And those packs were so expensive for so long. I still haven't pulled, I have so many duplicates, but I still haven't pulled the Dugong or the Piplup illustration rare. So if I'm going to pull a new IR, that's where I would want to be. Let's see. Oh, Sharpedo. And I think we're going to have to go through these pretty quickly here. Because actually, I think that we're about to get a Pokemon Center drop, it looks like. So it's going to have to probably be live here in a second. That video probably will go up before this one. So real quickly, let's go through these. We pull it right here. Be kind of crazy. Mega Lopunny. And let's see what's next. Last pack. Charcadet, Absol. We'll just get to the end here. It's not going to be in this pack. We tried. Anyways, that's all I have for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. And remember, it was never a phase.